Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9. We are on text 19. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Vedaham te vyavasitam
Vedaham te vyavasthitam
Vyavasitam
Hridhi Rajnaya Balaka
Vidhi
Rajana
Rajnaya Balaka
Tat Prayachami Bhadram te
Tat Prachami
Prayachami Bhadram te
Durapam api suvrata.
Durapam
Durapam Api Suvrataha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The personality of God had said, My dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment, all good fortune unto you. The Lord is so merciful to his devotee that he immediately said to Dhruva Maharaj, let there be all good fortune to you. So the Lord always wants us to be happy. Krishna wants us to be happy. Krishna does not want us to suffer. He wants us to be peaceful. He wants us to be fortunate. He wants all good things on us. Just as a father wishes all good things for his son, we are all Krishna's children. Krishna wishes all the happiness for us. The fact is that Dhruva Maharaj was very much afraid in his mind, for he had aspired after material benefit in discharging his devotional service, and this was hampering him from reaching the stage of love of God. The highest platform is love of God. In the Bhagavad Gita 2:44, it is said, Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam. Those who are addicted to material pleasure cannot be attracted to devotional service. It was true that at heart Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom that would be far better than Brahmalok. This was a natural desire for a Kshatriya. He was also only 5 years old, and in his childish way, he desired to have a kingdom far greater than his father's, grandfather's, or great-grandfather's. His father, Uttanapad, was the son of Manu, and Manu was the son of Lord Brahma. Dhruva wanted to excel all these great family members. The Lord knew Dhruva Maharaj's childish ambition, but how was it possible to offer Dhruva a position more exalted than Lord Brahma's? So Brahmaji, he is controlling this entire universe. He is the secondary creator of this universe, and Dhruva Maharaj wants something better than his great-grandfather. The Lord assured Dhruva Maharaj that Dhruva would not be bereft of the Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruva not to be worried that he childishly had material desires and at the same time had the pure aspiration to be a great devotee. Generally, the Lord does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruva Maharaj's case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. This example illustrates that a highly qualified devotee can have the facility of material enjoyment and at the same time execute love of God. This, however, was a special case for Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was, of course, feeling that he engaged in devotional service because he had a purpose to have a great kingdom. And the Lord is fulfilling his desire. Prabhupada is pointing out that the Lord may not fulfill somebody's desire of material opulence if he is a pure devotee. Why? Just so that, just to fasten the process of the devotee coming back home, back to Godhead. Because, we may get attached and then the devotee may waste more time here. But this is, of course, on very high platform. If somebody is really a pure devotee and has some kind of a material desire, the Lord may not fulfill it. Because the Lord is also anxious to be with the devotee as soon as possible, to bring him back home soon. But for Dhruva Maharaj, he's giving him a kingdom to, king means opulence, power, name, fame, adoration, worship, all these things which keep us here in the material world. So Krishna is giving him all this because he understands that Dhruva won't be carried away by it. This is how a pure devotee acts. He, in spite of having all the opulence, does not forget Krishna. He's still situated in his love of Krishna. Is that okay? So then we may think, that means if I have some desire, Lord will not fulfill? He will fulfill. Lord fulfills all our desires. He may fulfill it in such a way that will bring us closer to him. Is that okay?
Yes.
Nanyar adishtitam badra
Nanye
adishtam
dishtitam
bhadra
bhadra
yad prajishnu dhruva shiti
yad
yat
prajishno
brajishnu dhruva
dhruva
shiti
shiti
yatra grahakshataranam
yatra
yatra
graha
grahakshat
kakshataranam
jyotisham chakram ahitam
jyotisham
jyotisham
chakram
chakram
ahitam
ahitam
medhyam go chakravat sthasnu
medyam
medhayam go
chakravatsa
chakravatsthasnu
parastat kalpavasinam
parastat
parastat
kalpavasinam
kalpavasinam
dharmo agni kashyapa shukro
dharmo
dharma
agni
agni kashyapo
kashyapa
shukro
shukro
munayo ye vanav kashaha
munayo
मुनयो
ye
ये वन ऊहतः
vanopashyaha
charanti dakshini kritya
charanti
चरन्ति दक्षिणी
dakshinitya
कृष्ण कृत्य
brahmanto yat satarakaha.
भ्रमन्तो
brahmanto
यत्
yat
सतारकः
satarakaha.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, my dear Dhruva, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet, just as bulls tread around a central pole for the purpose of crushing rains. Keeping the pole star to their right, all the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kashyap, and Shukra circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others. So he's giving him the pole star, which is a Vaikuntha planet within the material world. Although the pole star existed before its occupation by Dhruva Maharaj, it had no predominating deity. So the pole star was there already before it is given to Dhruva Maharaj, but it does not have someone ruling it. Like every planet has a ruler before. The entire planet would be ruled by one person. Like we have Surya Dev, he's the ruler of the sun planet. Or we have Chandra Dev. He's the ruler of the moon planet. So every planet has its ruler, and now the Lord is giving Dhruva the pole star. Dhruva Lok, our pole star, is the center for all other stars and solar systems. For all of them circle around Dhruva Lok, just as a bull crushes grains by walking around and around a central pole. So, like traditionally, there used to be the bull, he would be tied to something, and then he would go round and round. And then that's how the grains would be crushed. Traditionally, Dhruva wanted the best of all planets, and although it was a childish prayer, the Lord satisfied his demand. A small child may demand something from his father, which his father has never given to anyone else. Yet, out of affection, the father offers it to the child. Similarly, this unique planet, Dhruva Lok, was offered to Maharaj Dhruva. The specific significance of this planet is that until the entire universe is annihilated, this planet will remain, even during the devastation which takes place during the night of Lord Brahma. So during the night of Brahma, the lower planets are all destroyed, and only the upper planets remain. There are two kinds of dissolutions, one during the night of Lord Brahma, and one at the end of Lord Brahma's life. So even Brahmaji, even he dies, although he lives for 311 trillion years or something, like a long, long duration, but yet he dies too. And so when he sleeps at night, at that time is the partial dissolution. And when he dies, the entire universe is collapsed. Entire universe goes back in the body of Mahavishnu. At the end of Brahma's life, selected personalities go back home, back to Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj is one of them. The Lord assured Dhruva that he would exist beyond the partial dissolution of this universe. Thus, at the end of the complete dissolution, Dhruva Maharaj would go directly to Vaikuntha Lok, to a spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. So there are certain personalities, in Satyalok, in the Brahma Lok, that after Lord Brahma dies, if Brahma is a pure devotee, then Brahma goes back to Godhead, and with him, those inhabitants also go back to Godhead. And here, of course, the Lord is giving benediction to Dhruva Maharaj that when Brahmaji dies, then at that time, you will also go back to Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this connection that Dhruva Lok is one of the lokas like Shvetadvip, Mathura, and Dwarka. They are all eternal places in the kingdom of God, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita, Tad Dhama Paramam, and in the Vedas, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha. So because the Lord himself stays on this planet in Shvetadvip, the Shvetadvip, where Shirodakshai Vishnu stays, is on this Dhruva Lok. So it's a Vaikuntha planet. It's eternal planet. The planet is never destroyed. It may just become manifest and unmanifest to our eyes. Just like when the sun rises and the sun sets. When the sun sets, it doesn't mean the sun is not there. It's still there, but we can't see it. It's another part of the world. The words Parastat Kalpa Vasinam, transcendental to the planets inhabited after the dissolution, refer to the Vaikuntha planets. In other words, Dhruva Maharaj's promotion to the Vaikuntha Lokas was guaranteed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's getting the benediction that he's going to go home, back to Godhead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So here, actually, Dhruva Maharaj is already he's liberated, right? He doesn't have any material desire, but he's still having that desire of, getting a better kingdom. I don't really get that. So they are still in that desire, even after liberation, even after being in in pure devotion and love for Krishna.
So that was his desire before he engaged in devotional service. That was his desire before, not now, but before he had the desire. And the Lord is fulfilling that desire. And the reason the Lord is fulfilling that desire, because he knows that Dhruva Maharaj is a pure devotee and that he will not get carried away by all this opulence.
Okay,
So
so
Dhruva Maharaj, because
this
it was his desire before he started engaging in devotional service.
to have a kingdom bigger than a Brahmalok. That was before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now when
And
he
the Lord,
so now when he is in now when he has Dhruvalok, he is not having any desire and he's not affected by any mode of that material nature.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Prasthite tu vanam pitra
Prastite tu vanam pitra
dattva gam dharma samshayah
dattva gam dharma samshayah
satrimshad varsha sahasram
shat trishat varsha sahasram
rakshitavyahatendriyah.
rakshita avyahat indriya.
After your father goes to the forest and awards you the rule of his kingdom, you will rule continuously the entire world for 36,000 years, and all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old. In the Satyug, people generally lived for 100,000 years. Dhruva Maharaj's ruling the world for 36,000 years was quite possible in those days. So Dhruva Maharaj is in Satyug, and the Lord is telling him, okay, after your father, before that's how the kings would do. They would go vanaprasth. They would take vanaprasth, means retire, go to the forest, hand over the kingdom to somebody who's suitable. And so Dhruva Maharaj would rule the planet for 36,000 years. People used to live 100,000 years in Satyug. Then in Treta Yug, 10,000. In Kali Yug, 1,000. And in Kali Yug, barely even 100. Tvad Bhratari Uttamenaste
Bhartri uttame nashte
Mragyayam tu tanmanaha
mrigyayam tu tatmanaha
Anveshanti vanam mata
anveshanti vanam mata
Davagnim sa pravekshyati.
davagnim sapravikshati.
The Lord continued, sometime in the future, your brother Uttam will go hunting in the forest, and while absorbed in hunting, he will be killed. Your stepmother Suruchi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by a forest fire. So the Lord is telling him what's going to happen. Dhruva Maharaj came to the forest to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a revenging spirit against his stepmother. His stepmother had insulted Dhruva, who was not an ordinary person, but a great Vaishnava. An offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is the greatest offense in the world. Because of having insulted Dhruva Maharaj, Suruchi would become mad upon the death of her son and would enter a forest fire, and thus her life would be ended. This was specifically mentioned by the Lord to Dhruva because he was determined for revenge against her. From this, we should take the lesson that we should never try to insult a Vaishnava. Not only should we not insult a Vaishnava, but we should not insult anyone unnecessarily. Yeah, we think someone is lower than us, then we tend to insult them. So we need to give up this habit of insulting others, because then we don't know what reactions are waiting for us. When Suruchi insulted Dhruva Maharaj, he was just a child. She, of course, did not know that Dhruva was a great recognized Vaishnava. And so her offense was committed unknowingly. When one serves a Vaishnava unknowingly, one still gets the good result. And if one unknowingly insults a Vaishnava, one suffers the bad result. So the Agyata Sukriti we are getting when we are unknowingly serving a devotee, similarly we are getting the result of suffering when we are unknowingly insulting a devotee. A Vaishnava is specially favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pleasing him or displeasing him directly affects the pleasure and displeasure of the Supreme Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his 8 stanzas of prayers to the spiritual master, has sung Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasada. So this is in the Guru Ashtakam. Guru Ashtakam, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, by pleasing the spiritual master, who is a pure Vaishnava, one pleases the personality of Godhead. But if one displeases the spiritual master, one does not know where he is going. So how can we please Krishna? We please Krishna by pleasing the spiritual master, by following his instructions. Yasya prasada, Bhagavad prasada. So did anyone have anything to add or any comments?
So now the pole star, Dhruva planet, is still there, but but Dhruva Maharaj doesn't reside there
He is
anymore.
residing. He is
He's
residing
still?
there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because it
He's
said that
still,
after 36,000, he went to the Vaikuntha planet, right?
so after 36,000 years of ruling this planet,
Yeah.
he went to this Dhruvlok. That's what Guru Maharaj was saying that day. So
Oh,
he ruled the planet here,
oh, here,
uh,
okay.
36,000 years. Then he went to Polestar,
Okay.
Dhruvlok, and he's residing there. And then when Brahma dies, then that time he'll go to the spiritual sky.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dhruvlok is also a Vaikuntha planet, but it's in the
Right.
material sky.
It's in the material sky. So that means he's still there.
He's still there.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So let's stop here for today.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.